dazu.
Hey, beautiful people. I'm your host, Chermelin, and you're listening to Between the Lines, a podcast that goes beneath the surface. These past few weeks have been very heavy, especially with the injustice happening before our eyes. Yet in these times, God is still good, and He still provides. The next voice you'll be hearing is my good friend, Ralph.
Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, which has sent our world into a state of lockdown, I've had time over the past few months to really contemplate my relationship with Jesus. It's been during this time that I've been trying to understand God and the many roles that He plays in my life. But the one role which has astounded me the most is His role as my provider. When I open up my Bible to Colossians chapter 3, I read that because Christ died for me, God is able to provide me with a new life. And this new life is teeming with endless possibility and opportunity. But it also comes with a great deal of new responsibility. Verse 2 tells me to set my mind on the things that are above and not on the things that are on this earth. And verse 5 tells me to do away with all my uncleanliness, my old passions, and all of my selfish desires. And what these verses tell me is that to accept this new life, to accept this new privilege, is to accept these new responsibilities. But it is in verse 8 that I begin to understand the magnitude of these responsibilities. Verse 8 reads, "To put away all my anger and wrath and malice and shameful speaking." That it is time to do away with my old person and to put off all of my old doings. Because I am being made a new person that is being renewed unto the knowledge after the image of the one that created me. That to accept a new life in Christ is to be made new in His image. What these verses tell me is that because of this new life, it is time for me to put aside my own pride and prejudice. These verses tell me that when I see injustice, it is my responsibility to speak out. That when I see hatred, I'm to respond with love. And that when I see pain and suffering in our world, I don't just turn a blind eye and pretend that it's not there. That to accept a new life in God, that when I claim God as my provider, I accept that there is a need to change. Because when God calls us to a new life, He calls us to a life where there are no Greeks and Jews. There are no circumcised and uncircumcised. There are no barbarians, Scythians, bondmen or freemen. There is only one unified life in Christ. That is what it means for God to be my provider.
Just like Ralph, will you choose to accept the life of Christ and its responsibilities? Will you rise up and walk in the newness of life? Join us next week to learn how God rescued one of my friends and how He longs to do that for you too.